Part 6, The New World Part 2. Chapter 51, Exploring New Horizons. As the first rays of light kissed the horizon, Adrian and Serena stood side by side, gazing out at the tranquil waters, the reef now vibrant and full of life once again. The world around them hummed with the promise of renewal, its scars healed, and its future brimming with hope. With peace reigning and their homeland flourishing, the weight of the past seemed to lift from their shoulders. Yet, as they looked beyond the shores they had fought so hard to protect, a new sense of yearning stirred within them. The familiar landscape, though beautiful, no longer seemed enough to contain the breadth of their dreams. There were countless lands beyond the horizon, uncharted and filled with the potential for discovery. A quiet excitement built between them, an unspoken understanding that their journey was far from over. The world had opened up to them in ways they had never imagined, offering new horizons to explore and mysteries to uncover. The restoration of the reef had been a monumental task, but now, with peace settled into their bones, they were ready for the adventure that awaited beyond. Their hearts pulsed with the thrill of the unknown, eager to experience what lay beyond the world they had known. Together, they felt the pull of something greater, a shared desire to uncover new stories, forge deeper connections, and continue building on the foundation they had fought so hard to create. The dawn of this new era was not just a time for healing. It was a call to explore, to grow, and to embrace the endless possibilities of the future. One crisp morning, the first light of dawn illuminated the Elysium, its newly polished surface gleaming like a beacon of possibility. The ship, fully restored and meticulously outfitted with the finest provisions, seemed to breathe with a life of its own, ready to embark on a journey unlike any they had faced before. The rigging stood taut, the sails crisp in the morning breeze, as if eager to carry them toward uncharted waters. Every detail of the ship, from the gleaming wood to the polished brass, reflected their shared vision of the future, one filled with adventure, discovery, and the promise of new horizons. It was more than just a vessel. It was a symbol of the life they were about to build, free from the shadows of the past and driven by the excitement of what lay ahead. Adrian and Serena stood at the ship's bow, their eyes locked on the vast expanse before them. The horizon stretched endlessly, its colors shifting with the light, a breathtaking canvas of boundless potential. Their hearts swelled with anticipation, knowing that this was only the beginning of a new chapter in their journey. Together, they had faced the trials that had shaped their world, and now, with the wind in their favor and the future ahead of them, they felt an unspoken bond stronger than ever. The world was vast, full of secrets waiting to be uncovered, and as the Elysium's sails caught the wind, they knew they were ready to explore it all, side by side, driven by their renewed purpose and a sense of adventure that would guide them wherever the sea might take them. Standing on the deck of the Elysium, Serena leaned over the weathered map spread before them, tracing her fingers over the intricate lines and markings that adorned its surface. The chart, old and slightly tattered, was filled with mysterious symbols and uncharted territories that seemed to beckon with the promise of discovery. Some areas were shaded with faint sketches of what appeared to be mythical creatures, while others were marked with symbols that hinted at untold riches or ancient secrets. The map felt alive with possibility, as if every curve of the coastline and every island waiting to be explored held a story of its own. Serena's heart raced with the thought of all the unclaimed spaces that lay beyond the familiar shores. Her eyes gleamed with excitement as she looked up from the map, her gaze shifting from the mysterious chart to the vast expanse of open ocean stretching out before them. "There's so much out there we haven't seen yet," she said, her voice filled with wonder and anticipation. The wind tugged at her hair as she took in the endless horizon, her sense of adventure rekindled by the promise of the unknown. "Our world is full of hidden wonders." With each word, she felt her curiosity deepen, knowing that the journey ahead would be one of exploration, discovery, and perhaps even deeper connections to the mysteries of the world. The unknown was no longer a source of fear, but a challenge to be embraced, and she was ready to face it head-on. Adrian worked with practiced ease, adjusting the sails of the Elysium as the ship began to catch the morning breeze. The wind ruffled his hair and tugged at his clothes, but there was a contentness in his movements, a quiet confidence that came from knowing exactly what needed to be done. As he tightened the ropes and checked the ship's readiness, he glanced up, his eyes meeting Serena's with a smile that was both reassuring and filled with excitement. The world around them had changed so much. What had once been a place of uncertainty and struggle now felt like an endless canvas of potential. His gaze lingered on the distant horizon, where the sun shimmered over the water, its light dancing across the waves like a path leading to something just out of reach. "We've seen how much this world has to offer," Adrian said, his voice steady with purpose. He wiped his brow with the back of his hand and leaned against the mast, his expression one of quiet resolve. "It's time we sought out new adventures, new places to explore. Who knows what we might find?" The question hung in the air, full of promise, as if the very act of setting sail could open doors to unseen realms. His words weren't just about the lands they had yet to visit. They were a call to embrace the unknown, to keep moving forward, and to uncover the mysteries that lay hidden beyond the reaches of their past experiences. The prospect of discovering something new was thrilling, and for both of them, it meant stepping into a future filled with limitless possibilities. As the Elysium glided away from the harbor, the first rays of the morning sun struck the sea, causing it to shimmer with 1,000 sparkling hues. The ship, now fully restored and brimming with new energy, sliced through the waters with ease. The soft creak of the timbers and the flutter of the sails were the only sounds that accompanied their departure, and as the land faded into the distance, an exhilarating sense of freedom filled the air. The ocean, once a place of conflict, now seemed serene and full of promise, its surface reflecting the dawn's light as if it, too, were welcoming them to this new chapter. The vastness of the sea spread out before them, an endless expanse that invited them to explore and discover the uncharted lands that lay just beyond their reach. For Adrian and Serena, the journey ahead was more than just a physical one. It was a quest to deepen their understanding of the world they had fought so hard to protect. With every passing wave, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. This adventure was not merely about finding new lands or treasures, but about unlocking the mysteries of the magic that connected everything. The world, now restored, still held secrets that were waiting to be uncovered. Serena felt the magic that had once been twisted, now flowing freely through the air and water, invigorating the very land they sailed upon. As they sailed further into the unknown, they knew that each discovery would not only broaden their horizons but also deepen their connection to the forces that shaped their world. The journey was a reflection of their shared desire to understand, to learn, and to grow, and it would continue to define the path they would walk together. Their first destination was a mysterious archipelago, whispered about in legends and tales from distant lands. The islands were said to be home to rare and mythical creatures that had eluded discovery for centuries. As the Elysium approached the cluster of islands, the mist parted to reveal the towering cliffs that rose sharply from the ocean, their jagged edges disappearing into the sky. The lush vegetation clung to the rocks, vibrant and thick with the promise of ancient secrets hidden beneath their canopies. The sight of the islands, wrapped in an almost ethereal glow, sparked a thrill within Adrian and Serena. The landscape was both wild and untamed, a perfect reflection of the untold mysteries that awaited them. Each island seemed to hold its own unique allure, with dense jungles, quiet coves, and towering mountains all promising hidden wonders. Serena's heart quickened with excitement as she gazed at the towering cliffs, imagining what secrets lay in the shadows of the trees and under the crystal-clear waters. The thrill of discovery pulsed through both of them as they approached the archipelago, the air thick with anticipation. For Adrian, the vast, unexplored expanse was an invitation to uncover the unknown, to learn the stories and histories that had been kept hidden for so long. With each island they neared, they knew that whatever awaited them would challenge their perceptions, enrich their understanding, and perhaps change the course of their adventure in ways they couldn't yet foresee. On one of the islands, as Adrian and Serena ventured further inland, they encountered an extraordinary community that seemed to defy the very laws of nature. The sky dwellers lived in floating villages, their homes suspended among the clouds, connected by delicate bridges woven from the strongest of materials. The villages, perched high above the ground, were surrounded by lush gardens that thrived in the rarefied air, and the inhabitants moved gracefully between the clouds, their technology harnessing the winds and natural forces to keep them afloat. The sky dwellers welcomed the newcomers with open arms, eager to share the wonders of their world. They spoke of ancient rituals that had taught them how to channel the power of the air, allowing them to create their floating homes and cultivate their land without ever touching the earth below. Adrian and Serena were both awestruck by the harmony that pervaded the sky-dwelling society. The blend of magic and technology had allowed them to create a civilization that flourished above the earth, relying on both their deep understanding of the natural world and their inventive spirit. As they learned from the sky-dwellers, they discovered that the islands themselves had unique magical properties, with each one holding a different element of power that contributed to the prosperity of the floating villages. The sky-dwellers' deep respect for nature and their seamless integration of magic into everyday life fascinated both Adrian and Serena. As they spent time with the community, their appreciation for the diversity of the world grew, and they realized that the path of discovery they had embarked upon would only deepen their connection to the vast, interconnected world around them. Their journey then took them beneath the waves, to the site of a long-lost city that had once flourished but was now submerged, its secrets hidden beneath the ocean's surface. Serena, with her deep connection to the sea, guided them through the labyrinthine ruins, her presence ensuring their safety as they ventured deeper into the forgotten world. The water was eerily calm as they explored the crumbling structures, their once majestic spires now covered in coral and seaweed, while schools of fish darted through what had once been bustling streets. They discovered fragments of ancient artifacts, broken pottery, intricately carved statues, and gemstones that glinted faintly in the dim light, each item telling a story of a civilization that had thrived before being swallowed by the sea. As they moved through the city, Serena's sharp eyes caught the faint markings of inscriptions on stone tablets, their meaning slowly becoming clearer as they studied them together. These ancient texts spoke of powerful magics, long-forgotten rituals, and the rise and fall of empires. The more they uncovered, the more they realized how much history had been lost, leaving only whispers of its existence in the shadows of the deep. The ruins, though silent, seemed to hold a vast reservoir of knowledge and mystery, reminding them both of the richness of the world's past and the endless possibilities for discovery. This experience deepened their bond to the planet's history, reminding them of the fragile line between preservation and loss, and how the legacy of these long-gone civilizations still held lessons that could shape their own future. Their next adventure led them to a mystical land caught in the eternal embrace of twilight. The sky was perpetually painted in shades of deep purple and soft gold, casting the landscape in an ethereal glow. The flora and fauna that populated the land were unlike anything they had encountered before. Bioluminescent plants with glowing tendrils swayed gently in the breeze, while the creatures that moved through the underbrush shimmered like stars in the darkening sky. Every step they took felt like walking through a dream, with the world bathed in an otherworldly light that seemed to pulse with life. The air was thick with magic, and it hummed around them like a living entity, its presence both mysterious and inviting. It was in this strange land that they met the beings of light, translucent, radiant figures who seemed to exist on a different plane, their forms shifting and flickering like fireflies caught in a breeze. These beings, wise and serene, spoke of the delicate balance that governed the flow of magic between the natural world and the unseen forces that shaped it. They shared profound insights into the interconnectedness of all things, revealing secrets about the origins of the magic that fueled their world and the importance of maintaining harmony between the realms of nature and energy. Adrian and Serena listened intently, absorbing the knowledge with awe and reverence. The teachings they received in this twilight realm would become a guiding light in their continued travels, offering them a deeper understanding of the world and the role they were destined to play in preserving its fragile equilibrium. Adrian and Serena's journey was far from easy, as each new destination brought its own set of challenges. The weather was often unforgiving, with violent storms that tested the endurance of their ship and the limits of their resolve. On land, they navigated treacherous terrain, rugged mountain passes, thick jungles, and unstable cliffs that threatened to send them plummeting into the unknown. Even the creatures they encountered on their travels were a mix of awe-inspiring beauty and deadly danger. From serpentine beasts that slithered through dense forests to massive, winged predators that soared through the skies, their path was fraught with peril. Yet these challenges did not deter them. Instead, they became opportunities for growth. With each trial, They found new strength in their bond, facing danger side by side, relying on each other's skills, intuition, and unwavering support. Through every obstacle they overcame, Adrian and Serena grew more attuned to one another, their trust and respect solidifying into an unbreakable foundation. When the seas raged against them, Adrian steered the ship with unshakable confidence, and Serena's keen intuition guided them through the storms. On land, their complementary strengths, Adrian's tactical mind and Serena's knowledge of magic and nature, enabled them to outsmart and outlast whatever dangers they encountered. Whether they were deciphering ancient riddles or warding off hostile creatures, their resilience and ingenuity carried them through. Every victory, no matter how small, strengthened their partnership, reminding them that together they could conquer anything the world threw at them. As Adrian and Serena ventured into uncharted territories, they remained deeply connected to the village they had fought to protect. Despite the vast distance between them, they ensured that their journey was not a solitary one, sending regular messages back to the community with details of their discoveries. The knowledge they gathered from ancient ruins, mystical creatures, and long-forgotten magic was carefully shared, with the hope that it would help the village thrive in new and unexpected ways. Serena's understanding of magic, combined with Adrian's tactical expertise, allowed them to pass on valuable insights that would enhance the village's future. Their letters were a bridge between the past and the present, ensuring that the lessons of their adventures would not be lost to time but would instead empower others. Their tales of discovery and wonder sparked something greater than just the growth of knowledge. They ignited a spirit of exploration and curiosity among the people. The village, once scarred by the ravages of war, now became a hub for new ideas and aspirations. Inspired by Adrian and Serena's adventures, others began to seek out their own paths of exploration, whether it was learning new skills, researching unknown realms, or forging connections with distant lands. The ripple effect of their journey spread far and wide, as more individuals ventured beyond their familiar shores, eager to uncover the mysteries of the world. What had started as a personal quest had blossomed into a collective movement, one that promised a future brimming with limitless potential. As the Elysium sailed smoothly back towards familiar waters, the evening sky was ablaze with the warm hues of orange and pink, casting a tranquil glow over the sea. Adrian and Serena stood together at the bow, the soft breeze carrying with it the scent of salt and adventure. Their journey, filled with awe-inspiring discoveries and harrowing challenges, had changed them in ways they hadn't fully realized. The landscapes they had explored, the creatures they had met, and the ancient secrets they had uncovered had woven themselves into the very fabric of their being. They had ventured into the unknown, embracing the vastness of the world, and in doing so, they had forged a deeper connection to it. The bond they shared with one another, strengthened by their trials, had evolved into something profound, an unspoken unday. In the quiet of the moment, as the sky darkened and the first stars began to twinkle, they reflected on how far they had come. Their growth was not just in the knowledge they had gained, but in the way they saw the world and their place within it. The magic that had once seemed like a force to be harnessed was now a living, breathing part of their reality, something to be respected, understood, and protected. Serena's connection to the ebb and flow of magic had deepened, and Adrian's sense of duty had expanded beyond just protecting the land he loved. They had both learned that their role in the world was not just to explore, but to honor and preserve the delicate balance of the natural and magical forces that shaped it. As they sailed towards home, they carried with them not just memories of their adventures, but the knowledge that their journey was far from over. The world was still full of mysteries, and with each new horizon, they would continue to grow, learn, and protect. Standing at the helm of the Elysium, Serena gazed out over the endless expanse of sea, the horizon stretching out before them like a promise of more discoveries to come. The wind tugged gently at her hair, and the sound of the ship slicing through the water seemed to echo the steady beat of her heart. She turned to Adrian, her eyes sparkling with the excitement of their shared journey. "We've seen so much and learned so much," she said, her voice filled with both contentment and anticipation. The landscapes they had explored, the creatures they had encountered, and the ancient secrets they had uncovered had all contributed to a deeper understanding of the world and its magic. But even as she reflected on their accomplishments, a sense of boundless curiosity stirred within her. It was as if the universe itself was beckoning them toward the unknown, urging them to explore even further, to unearth mysteries still hidden beneath the surface. Adrian met her gaze with a smile, sensing the same spark of longing for adventure that burned within him. He had witnessed her transformation over the course of their journey, her growth not just as an explorer but as someone whose connection to the magic of the world had only deepened. He, too, had found a new sense of purpose in their travels, not only as a protector but as someone who was beginning to understand the intricate balance between magic, nature, and the people who called this world home. He stepped closer, placing a hand on the wheel as they sailed into the dusk. "It does feel like the beginning," he agreed, his voice soft with the weight of unspoken possibilities. "We've only scratched the surface of what's out there, what we can learn and protect. This journey isn't just about discovery, it's about creating a future where the magic, and all that it touches, is honored and preserved." Together they stood, watching the sun dip lower into the sky, knowing that the adventures ahead would shape them in ways they couldn't yet imagine. The world was vast, and the road before them was just beginning to unfold. Adrian nodded thoughtfully, his eyes locked on the vast expanse of the horizon, where the sky met the sea in a seamless stretch of possibility. The golden light of the setting sun bathed the waters in a warm, fading glow, and the gentle rocking of the ship beneath their feet seemed to echo the rhythm of his thoughts. "There are always new horizons to explore," he said, his voice steady with conviction. "New mysteries to uncover." He felt the pull of the unknown deep within him, a reminder that no matter how much they had already discovered, there was always more to seek, more to understand. Their journey had already taken them to extraordinary places, yet he knew that the world still held countless secrets, waiting for the right moment to reveal them. He could feel the excitement of the adventure ahead, a spark that would drive them onward, pushing them toward new discoveries and challenges. Turning slightly, Adrian glanced at Serena, his smile reflecting the shared anticipation of the path they were on. "Our journey has just started," he continued, the weight of their words carrying the promise of endless possibilities. The feeling of being at the beginning of something greater than themselves filled him with a sense of purpose and wonder. "And I'm excited to see where it will lead us." He could already sense the profound impact their travels would have, not only on their own lives but on the world around them. With each new place they explored, they would continue to grow, learn, and forge connections with the people and magic that inhabited the lands they visited. It wasn't just about discovery anymore. It was about shaping the future, one adventure at a time. The vast unknown lay before them, and together, they were ready to chart a course into it, knowing that whatever awaited them, they would face it side by side. As the Elysium sailed further into the distance, the wind catching its sails and propelling it forward, a sense of freedom and excitement filled the air. The ship moved gracefully over the water, its sleek frame cutting through the waves as though it, too, was eager to embrace the unknown. Adrian and Serena stood together at the helm, their gazes fixed on the horizon where the endless sky met the shimmering sea. The world ahead seemed vast and full of promise, with each passing moment carrying them toward new adventures, new lands, and new mysteries to unravel. Their hearts beat in sync with the rhythm of the ship, a steady pulse of anticipation for the unknown. The prospect of the unexplored tugged at them with an irresistible pull, stirring their souls and filling their minds with possibilities. Every corner of the world held the potential for discovery, from hidden realms steeped in magic to ancient lands with secrets long forgotten. For Adrian and Serena, the journey was no longer just about exploring the world but about seeking meaning in each new experience, and embracing the profound connection they shared with the world around them. Their eyes met, a silent promise passing between them that no matter where the winds would take them, they would face it together. As the Elysium continued its journey into the vast expanse, they knew this was only the beginning of a new chapter, one that would unfold with the boundless adventures awaiting them on the horizon. The world stretched out before Adrian and Serena, an endless canvas of uncharted territories and hidden wonders waiting to be discovered. Every new horizon they reached seemed to unveil more mysteries, fueling their insatiable curiosity and deepening their connection to the world around them. From vast, uninhabited plains to bustling cities full of vibrant cultures, they encountered landscapes and creatures that had once only existed in legends. The thrill of discovery pushed them forward, but it was the shared joy of each moment, the unspoken understanding between them, that made each adventure meaningful. Together, they embraced the unknown with wide-eyed wonder, knowing that every step they took further into the world strengthened the bond they had forged through their trials. Their journey was no longer just about the pursuit of knowledge. It had become a testament to their enduring spirit, a reflection of the growth and resilience they had both experienced. They faced challenges, some familiar, some completely unexpected, but each one reinforced their trust in each other and their commitment to the path they had chosen. As they sailed toward the next adventure, the future seemed full of limitless opportunities, a world brimming with potential waiting to be explored. Their unbreakable bond, built on shared experiences and mutual respect, anchored them as they continued to chart a course into the ever-expanding world. The horizon was always just a little further ahead, and with each new step, they grew more certain that their journey together would never truly end. Chapter 52: Personal Growth. As Adrian and Serena embraced their roles as explorers and leaders, the weight of their new responsibilities began to settle upon them. Their days, once filled with carefree adventure, were now balanced with the demands of guiding others, making decisions that affected not only their own futures but also the well-being of the communities they had come to care for. Each discovery they made, each land they ventured to, and each challenge they faced tested their leadership and character in ways they hadn't anticipated. The constant movement between triumph and struggle forced them to adapt, forging resilience within them both. Adrian found himself questioning his old self-assurance, learning to listen more and value the perspectives of those around him. Serena, ever the intuitive one, began to understand the true weight of her influence, realizing that her wisdom and strength could shape the future in ways she hadn't fully grasped before. As the days passed, Adrian and Serena experienced a profound personal transformation. The lessons of their travels, the bonds they had forged, the challenges they had overcome, and the magic they had witnessed, began to change them, molding their perspectives on life and leadership. Where they had once been wanderers in search of excitement and answers, they now found themselves becoming guardians of the knowledge they had accumulated, with a deeper sense of purpose guiding their every step. With each new horizon they explored, they found themselves questioning not just what they would discover next, but how they could contribute to the world they had helped rebuild. They learned that their journey was not just about the places they visited or the adventures they had. It was about the way those experiences shaped who they were becoming, stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the needs of the world around them. Adrian, who had once lived for the rush of the chase and the pursuit of treasure, found himself stepping into a new chapter that demanded a different kind of courage. The lessons he had learned on the high seas, lessons that once served him in pursuit of wealth and glory, were now being channeled into something greater. As a leader, he understood that true strength lay not just in his ability to navigate treacherous waters or to outwit opponents, but in his capacity to guide and inspire others. His past as a pirate had instilled in him a deep sense of resilience and adaptability, traits that made him an effective mentor. He now saw that his role was no longer about seeking personal gain, but about empowering those who ventured into the unknown, teaching them the value of teamwork, patience, and perseverance. He felt a quiet pride in helping others discover their own paths, knowing that his journey had led him to this very moment of giving back. In his new purpose, Adrian found that his responsibilities extended far beyond the immediate excitement of exploration. He had come to realize that the thrill of discovery was only part of the story. The true reward lay in the impact one had on others. As a guide and mentor, he now held the power to shape the future of those who, like him, had once set out with nothing more than a desire to see the world unfold before them. The world had become a canvas of endless possibilities, and Adrian's role was to ensure that those who followed in his wake could approach it with the same sense of wonder and respect that had once driven him. What once felt like a solitary pursuit of glory had evolved into a collective mission, and Adrian embraced this shift, knowing that his actions could inspire generations of explorers who would continue the work of discovery and connection. In the stillness of the Elysium's deck, as the ship cut through the waters under the endless sky, Adrian found himself lost in thought, reflecting on the man he had once been. His past had been filled with impulsive decisions, driven by the adrenaline of the chase and the promise of riches. But as the days passed, he began to see the threads that had woven together his transformation. The reckless pirate had been replaced by someone who understood the weight of his actions, someone who had learned that true adventure didn't lie in treasure, but in the relationships formed and the lives touched along the way. The experiences he had accumulated, both the triumphs and the failures, had shaped him into a man who now recognized the importance of his influence on the people around him. Each decision, no matter how small, rippled out to affect those he led and cared for, a responsibility he no longer took lightly. As Adrian stood at the helm, the horizon before him seemed to stretch infinitely, much like the growth he had undergone. His journey had been a gradual unfolding of lessons, the most important of which was the realization that leadership was not about command, but about connection. He now understood the value of collaboration, how the strength of a crew came not from a single individual, but from the unity and trust they shared. Empathy had become his guide, helping him to better understand the needs of others and how to support them in their own growth. The pursuit of the greater good had shifted his focus from personal glory to a deeper purpose, to ensure that every adventure, every challenge, brought not only discovery, but progress for all. Adrian had come to see that his leadership was a reflection of his own evolution, and in these quiet moments aboard the Elysium, he finally felt the peace that came with knowing he had truly changed. One evening, as the soft glow of lanterns bathed the deck of the Elysium in warm light, Adrian sat hunched over a collection of maps, plotting their next adventure. The air was crisp with the scent of the sea, and the distant sound of waves lapping against the hull set a tranquil backdrop to the evening's work. Serena, standing beside him, watched as his fingers traced the lines on the map, his focus intense yet serene. It was in this quiet moment that Adrian spoke, his voice carrying a weight of reflection that had not been there before. "I used to think that success was measured by the treasure we found or the conquests we achieved," he said, his words slow, as if savoring the realization. "But now I see that it's about the connections we make and the positive impact we have on others." There was a quiet intensity in his expression as he looked up at her, the map now forgotten in his hands. The man who had once sought glory and riches in the vastness of the ocean had been replaced by someone who understood that true fulfillment came from something far more meaningful. Serena, who had witnessed his transformation firsthand, smiled softly, the corners of her lips lifting in a quiet understanding. Adrian had always been driven by the thrill of discovery and the pursuit of personal freedom, but over the course of their journey, he had come to embrace a deeper purpose. It wasn't just about the victories they celebrated or the treasures they unearthed. It was about the bonds they formed with the people they met and the legacies they left behind. For Adrian, success now looked like the growth of a community, the knowledge shared with others, and the ripple effect of kindness and leadership. Serena could see the change in his eyes, the way his gaze now lingered on the world not as a place to conquer, but as a place to nurture. It was a revelation that had come through countless encounters, through the quiet moments of reflection, and the loud, chaotic ones of their shared adventures. And in this new chapter, Adrian had found something he hadn't known he was searching for, a deeper connection to both the world and the people who shared it with him. Serena, who had always felt a deep, unspoken connection to the magic of the reef, found herself at the heart of a transformation that was both personal and profound. For years, she had been the silent protector of the ocean's mysteries, a solitary figure bound to the reef by duty and an innate sense of responsibility. But as her journey alongside Adrian unfolded, she realized that her role had evolved far beyond the boundaries of the sea. No longer confined to a singular purpose, Serena had become a bridge between the natural world and the people who sought to understand it. She had gathered knowledge, ancient wisdom from the reefs, the forests, and the skies, that spoke of the interconnectedness of all things. With each lesson she learned, she found herself sharing that knowledge with others, teaching them to see the world not as a resource to be exploited, but as a delicate balance to be preserved. She had transformed from a guardian of one place into a guide for many, helping others understand the importance of respecting and protecting the fragile harmony that governed nature. As Serena shared her knowledge with those they encountered on their travels, she witnessed the impact of her teachings firsthand. Communities began to embrace a new way of thinking, one that honored the deep connections between all living things, and the magic that flowed through the earth and sea. Her once solitary existence had blossomed into a life filled with purpose and interaction, where every encounter offered a chance to impart wisdom and foster respect for the world's wonders. The transformation she had undergone mirrored the very balance she worked so hard to preserve, the merging of her own journey with the journey of others. She was no longer just a protector, she was a catalyst for change, helping to create a world where magic was understood not as a force to be feared, but as a guiding light for those willing to live in harmony with it. With each lesson, each exchange, Serena felt herself growing not just as a guardian, but as a leader, shaping the future of the world in ways she had never imagined possible. As Serena navigated her new responsibilities, she found herself becoming a bridge between the mystical and the everyday. No longer confined to the reef, her influence and wisdom began to reach far beyond the waters that had once been her sole domain. The magic she had long known, its ebb and flow, its deep-rooted connection to nature, was now something she sought to share with those she encountered in their travels. People who once viewed magic as a distant, almost unreachable force began to see it as a living, breathing part of the world around them. Serena's teachings were infused with a deep reverence for the balance of nature, but she also understood the necessity of helping others see how magic could enhance and enrich their daily lives. Her role as a guide had grown into that of a mentor, helping to integrate ancient wisdom into modern practices, and offering people new ways to interact with the world. In embracing her expanded role, Serena found a profound sense of joy. As she shared her knowledge with eager listeners, from villagers seeking to cultivate harmony with nature to explorers seeking to unlock the world's hidden secrets, she felt her heart swell with purpose. Each lesson, each conversation, became a thread weaving a stronger bond between the magical and mundane, deepening her connection to both the world and its people. Her teaching didn't just focus on preserving the ancient ways, but on fostering a new appreciation for the wonders that existed in both the seen and unseen realms. Serena found joy in witnessing people's lives change as they began to see the beauty and power in the world around them. As her own understanding of magic deepened, so too did her role as both teacher and protector, inspiring others to embrace the interconnectedness of all things and helping to ensure that the wisdom of the past would be carried into the future. As Adrian and Serena journeyed to new lands, they frequently encountered communities that had never before interacted with the mystical realms. These places, often skeptical or unaware of the magic that pulsed through the world, were unprepared for the vastness of the unseen forces that shaped their environment. Serena, with her deep connection to the natural and magical world, quickly became an essential guide for these communities. She took the time to listen to their concerns and offered her knowledge in a way that was approachable and practical. Through her gentle teachings, Serena bridged the gap between the world of magic and the everyday lives of the people, explaining how the forces they might have thought were mere legend or superstition were, in fact, integral to their survival and prosperity. Her ability to translate complex mystical concepts into simple, actionable wisdom proved invaluable in fostering a greater understanding between the realms. Serena showed them how magic could be used to enhance their crops, purify water, heal ailments, and connect with the earth in more meaningful ways. In doing so, she helped people see the deeper significance of magic in their daily lives, fostering a newfound respect for the natural world and its hidden powers. Her efforts didn't just educate, they cultivated a sense of harmony and balance between the realms of magic and the mundane. The once divided communities began to see magic not as something to fear or disregard, but as a vital force to coexist with, ensuring that their world would continue to flourish in peace and cooperation. As Adrian and Serena continued to navigate the complexities of their evolving roles, their personal growth was mirrored in the strengthening of their relationship. The challenges they faced on their journeys, both internal and external, allowed them to lean on one another in ways they hadn't before. During moments of doubt, when the weight of their responsibilities felt overwhelming, they found solace in each other's presence. Their conversations, once filled with the excitement of discovery, were now often marked by deep reflections on their past, their purpose, and their hopes for the future. They offered each other not just companionship, but also unwavering support, helping each other process difficult decisions and celebrating even the smallest victories. What began as a shared adventure had blossomed into something far more profound. Their partnership had become an enduring connection, built on mutual respect, trust, and a deep understanding of one another's strengths and vulnerabilities. As they faced new horizons, they did so not as two separate individuals, but as a unified team. Every triumph, every setback, and every quiet moment shared between them strengthened their bond, weaving their lives together in a tapestry of shared purpose. The love and trust they had cultivated through their adventures had evolved into something deeper, a commitment to not only explore the world but to face whatever came next, side by side. As the golden hues of the setting sun painted the sky, casting a warm glow over the deck of the Elysium, Adrian stood beside Serena, his eyes fixed on the horizon. The sea stretched endlessly before them, a vast reminder of the journey they had undertaken together. The air was calm, and the ship sailed smoothly, cutting through the water as though in sync with their shared thoughts. Adrian's voice, steady but filled with emotion, broke the silence. "We've both changed so much since we first set out," he said, his smile a soft reflection of the growth he had experienced. "I feel like I'm finally becoming the person I was meant to be." His words were not just about the external journey they had taken, but the internal transformation he had undergone, the lessons learned, the challenges faced, and the new purpose he had found in leading and guiding others. Serena turned to him, her gaze steady and knowing, as she took in the depth of his words. She had watched him grow from a daring pirate, driven by personal ambition, to a wise leader who embraced responsibility and connection with the world around him. His transformation mirrored her own, and she understood the weight of the moment. Together, they had forged a new path, one that intertwined their destinies and allowed them to become versions of themselves they hadn't imagined possible when they first set sail. As the sun's last rays dipped below the water's edge, the promise of a new chapter glimmered on the horizon, just as the future they had worked so hard to create together was finally beginning to take shape. Serena's eyes softened as she turned to face Adrian, a gentle smile tugging at her lips. The years they had spent together, the trials they had faced, and the discoveries they had made had all left their marks, not just on their world but on their hearts. She could see it clearly now, how they had both changed in ways they couldn't have anticipated when they first set sail. The restless adventurer who once sought treasure and glory had become a leader with a deep understanding of the world's intricate balance. Serena herself, once bound by duty to the reef, had blossomed into a guide for others, her wisdom now extending far beyond the shores she once protected. "We've grown and transformed in ways we never imagined," she said softly, her voice filled with a quiet reverence for the path they had walked together. "The journey we've taken has shaped us, and now we have the chance to help others grow and find their own paths." Her words were a testament to the bond they had forged through their shared experiences, a bond that had transformed them both in ways neither of them could have predicted. They had become not just explorers of distant lands but explorers of their own selves, discovering depths of strength, compassion, and wisdom they had never known before. Serena felt a profound sense of purpose in knowing that their adventures had meaning beyond their own lives. They were now in a position to share their journey with others, to guide those who sought the same sense of transformation and self-discovery. As they stood together, watching the last of the day's light fade into the night, Serena's heart swelled with pride, knowing that their story was far from over, and the world still had much to offer, both for them and for those they would inspire. Adrian and Serena's personal growth extended far beyond their own transformation. It was reflected in the way they inspired and influenced the people they encountered. Over the course of their travels, they became more than just explorers. They became role models, exemplifying the values of perseverance, empathy, and curiosity. The wisdom they had gained from their experiences was shared freely, and the lessons they imparted resonated deeply with those they met. In communities where fear or doubt once held sway, their presence brought hope, showing others that growth and change were not only possible but necessary for a meaningful life. They taught the importance of embracing the unknown, of seeking understanding in the face of adversity, and of pushing boundaries to discover one's true potential. As mentors, they fostered an environment of encouragement and support. helping others recognize their strengths and guiding them through their own journeys of self-discovery. Adrian, once driven by personal ambition, now found fulfillment in helping others realize their dreams of exploration and growth. Serena, with her deep understanding of the natural and magical worlds, shared her knowledge in a way that made it accessible and relevant to those without her mystical connection. Together, they nurtured a ripple effect, empowering those around them to embrace their own paths of transformation. Their impact was felt far and wide, as the people they mentored began to seek their own adventures, learn new skills, and push past their limitations, all fueled by the belief that they, too, could make a difference in the world. As Adrian and Serena ventured further into the vast expanse of their world, the lessons they had learned along the way became their guiding compass. Each challenge they encountered was approached with a calm assurance that stemmed from the growth they had experienced. They no longer saw obstacles as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities to deepen their understanding and refine their skills. The trials they had faced had taught them not only about the world but also about their own strengths and weaknesses. With every new discovery, they grew more attuned to the magic that flowed through the land, and their ability to navigate the complexities of the world became second nature. What had once seemed daunting now felt like a path well within their reach, and together, they faced each new horizon with open hearts and minds. Their evolving bond, shaped by their shared experiences, allowed them to approach the unknown with a sense of unity and purpose. Adrian, once driven by the thrill of individual triumph, now embraced challenges with the understanding that they were part of a greater journey that involved not just himself, but the world around him. Serena, with her profound connection to the mystical, found her place as a protector and guide, not just for the natural world, but for the people they encountered. Together, they had built a partnership that was more than just a shared adventure. It was a powerful force of growth, compassion, and resilience. With each passing day, they continued to evolve, carrying with them the wisdom they had gained and using it to navigate the challenges that awaited them in their ever-expanding journey. The journey of personal growth and transformation for Adrian and Serena was a continuous process, one that unfolded with every challenge they faced and every lesson they learned. With each new experience, they embraced their evolving roles with a quiet strength, carrying the wisdom of the past while remaining open to the possibilities of the future. They no longer viewed growth as a destination, but as an ever-shifting path that required patience, introspection, and dedication. Every moment of reflection deepened their understanding of themselves and their connection to the world around them, helping them better navigate the complexities of the responsibilities they now bore. They were not only changing the world through their actions but were also evolving as individuals, stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the needs of others. Despite the challenges that lay ahead, Adrian and Serena faced the future with an unwavering optimism. Their bond, forged through trials and triumphs, was the foundation upon which they would continue to build. With a renewed sense of purpose, they approached each new opportunity with the knowledge that their journey was far from over. There was still much to explore, much to learn, and many lives to touch along the way. Their hearts were filled with anticipation, knowing that the road ahead was one of constant discovery, and that together, they were prepared to meet whatever came next. Ready to face the future with open minds and steadfast resolve, they looked forward to the ever-expanding horizons of their adventure. Chapter 53: Unexpected Alliances. With their recent adventures etched into their memories and the world before them more expansive than ever, Adrian and Serena felt a renewed sense of purpose. The horizon stretched endlessly, inviting them to uncover secrets yet untold and mysteries yet unsolved. The promise of discovery was as intoxicating as the open sea itself, and every breeze seemed to whisper of wonders waiting to be found. Yet, as they began charting their course forward, they realized that the journey ahead would not only be defined by the destinations they sought but also by the people and creatures they would encounter. The vastness of their world was as much about connections as it was about exploration, and each step forward was a chance to weave new threads into the fabric of their story. Their path was soon enriched by the alliances they formed with individuals whose lives were as diverse and vibrant as the lands they visited. Scholars eager to share their knowledge of ancient magics, inventors with innovations that bridged the gap between the mystical and the practical, and communities with traditions that revealed new ways of understanding the world. all became an integral part of Adrian and Serena's journey. These alliances offered fresh perspectives and challenges that pushed them to grow even further. The companionship they found reminded them that the spirit of adventure was not only about the places they traveled but also about the bonds forged along the way. These unexpected connections transformed their voyage into something far greater than they had ever imagined. Their journey brought them to the bustling port city of Eldoria, a vibrant nexus where trade, culture, and knowledge intertwined in a dazzling display of diversity. The air buzzed with the hum of activity as merchants peddled exotic wares, sailors shared tales of distant lands, and travelers haggled over passage to new horizons. Eldoria's sprawling streets were lined with market stalls overflowing with goods, from shimmering silks and rare spices to mysterious artifacts from forgotten civilizations. The city thrived as a meeting point for people of all walks of life, its harbors teeming with ships that brought both opportunity and intrigue. For Adrian and Serena, Eldoria represented the perfect gateway to the next chapter of their journey, a place where the world's endless possibilities converged in one dynamic hub. Amidst the lively chaos of Eldoria, Adrian and Serena crossed paths with individuals whose skills and knowledge would prove vital to their future endeavors. They met a cunning cartographer whose intricate maps revealed routes to unexplored territories, and an alchemist whose potions promised to aid them in overcoming unforeseen challenges. Among the adventurers and scholars who frequented the city, they found kindred spirits eager to share tales, strategies, and wisdom. Eldoria became more than just a waypoint. It was a crucible where their ideas expanded, and their team began to take shape. Each connection forged in this bustling city promised to bring new depth and direction to their quest, reinforcing their belief that the journey ahead would be a shared adventure built on collaboration and unity. As they wandered through the vibrant marketplace, Adrian and Serena found themselves drawn to a stall lined with faded parchments and intricate scrolls. There, they encountered Kale, an enigmatic scholar with piercing eyes and an aura of quiet confidence. Kale was meticulously examining a set of ancient maps, his fingers tracing the cryptic markings and forgotten routes depicted on the fragile charts. The maps hinted at the existence of a hidden island, whispered about in legend as the resting place of a powerful and mysterious artifact. Intrigued by the potential of uncovering such a treasure, Adrian and Serena struck up a conversation with Kale, captivated by his vast knowledge of history and his ability to breathe life into the enigmatic symbols before them. It wasn't long before their casual exchange evolved into an animated discussion, filled with speculation and excitement about the uncharted island's possibilities. Kale's intellect and passion for discovery resonated deeply with Adrian and Serena, who quickly realized they shared a kindred spirit in the pursuit of the unknown. Kale's insights into ancient lore and his ability to interpret the subtle nuances of the maps brought a new dimension to their quest, sparking ideas and strategies they had never considered. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the market in a golden glow, the three had formed a tentative alliance, united by their shared curiosity and the promise of a remarkable journey ahead. Kale, clearly intrigued by Adrian and Serena's stories of adventure, paused for a moment before speaking. "Your experiences and insight," he said, his voice steady and thoughtful, "are exactly what I need for this journey." He leaned over the weathered map spread across the stall's surface, tracing his finger along a faded line that led to a cluster of symbols. "This island," he continued, pointing to a spot that seemed to hover between legend and reality, "holds secrets that could redefine everything we know about history and magic. But uncovering its mysteries won't be easy. I can decipher the lore and guide us through the riddles, but I'll need seasoned explorers like you to help navigate the challenges ahead." Adrian exchanged a glance with Serena, the unspoken thrill of a new adventure flickering in their eyes. "We've seen firsthand how discovery can change the world," Adrian replied, his tone laced with determination. Serena nodded, her gaze fixed on the map as if envisioning the journey ahead. Kale's proposition was bold, but it resonated deeply with their shared drive to push boundaries and embrace the unknown. With a handshake and mutual respect solidifying their newfound alliance, the three set their sights on the uncharted island, ready to combine their strengths and unravel its mysteries together. Adrian and Serena saw the wisdom in Kale's proposal and agreed to the partnership, understanding how his expertise could complement their own. As they prepared to set sail, Cale brought his collection of ancient maps and manuscripts aboard the Elysium, transforming its cabin into a makeshift research center. Together, they pored over every detail, charting a course to the mysterious island rumored to hold unparalleled secrets. Cale's scholarly insights provided critical guidance, but it was Adrian and Serena's seasoned navigation skills and adaptability that kept the journey on track. Their collaboration quickly became a balance of intellect and intuition, each member contributing uniquely to the quest. The voyage to the island proved far from straightforward. Treacherous waters tested their resolve, with sudden storms and hidden reefs threatening to derail their progress. Cale's ability to decipher cryptic symbols and ancient riddles became indispensable as they encountered markers left by a forgotten civilization. Adrian's steady hand at the helm and Serena's intuitive understanding of the natural world allowed them to overcome each obstacle with determination and ingenuity. As they neared their destination, the sense of camaraderie and shared purpose deepened, forging a bond that promised to be as enduring as the adventure itself. When they finally reached the shores of the enigmatic island, the dense, untamed jungle stretched before them like a vibrant, living maze. It was here that they encountered Leora, a skilled healer with an ethereal presence and a profound connection to the natural world. Leora explained that she had been drawn to the island by visions of an imbalance in nature, a disturbance that threatened the delicate harmony she dedicated her life to preserving. Her arrival was no coincidence. It felt as though the island itself had summoned her to aid in its protection. Her ability to commune with the land and interpret its subtle signs quickly proved indispensable as they delved into the island's mysteries. Leora's talents went beyond healing physical wounds. She seemed to breathe life into the very ground beneath their feet. As they ventured deeper into the island's lush heart, she guided them through treacherous terrain, pointing out hidden dangers and unlocking the secrets of the flora and fauna that thrived there. Her unique connection to the environment allowed her to sense shifts in energy and uncover paths that would have otherwise remained hidden. With her presence, the group's purpose expanded beyond discovery. They now aimed to restore balance to the island, weaving Leora's vision into their shared mission. Leora's addition to their alliance brought a profound harmony to their efforts, her insights into the natural world seamlessly blending with Cale's mastery of historical knowledge and the unrelenting adventurous spirit of Adrian and Serena. Each member of the group contributed something vital. Leora's connection to the land revealed hidden groves where rare plants thrived, while Cale's meticulous study of ancient inscriptions unveiled cryptic paths that led to the island's heart. Adrian and Serena's indomitable courage carried them through every challenge, whether it was navigating treacherous terrain or unraveling the dangers hidden within the island's mysteries. Their combined strengths culminated in a discovery that exceeded their wildest expectations. Deep within the island's ancient ruins, they unearthed a powerful artifact, its surface etched with glowing runes that seemed to hum with latent energy. Cale identified it as the keystone of a long-forgotten prophecy, one that spoke of balance restored and a great awakening for the world. As they stood together, the artifact's radiance illuminating their faces, the group realized that their mission was far greater than mere exploration. It was a chance to rewrite history, heal wounds both seen and unseen, and unite the knowledge of the past with the possibilities of the future. As their journey unfolded, the group discovered that their diverse skills and perspectives blended seamlessly, creating a synergy that propelled their exploration to new heights. Cale's scholarly precision and ability to decode ancient texts provided invaluable context for the mysteries they uncovered, while Leora's intuitive connection to the natural world revealed hidden truths and pathways that might have otherwise gone unnoticed. Adrian and Serena's seasoned practical experience as explorers ensured that every challenge was met with courage and adaptability, guiding their teams safely through treacherous terrain and unforeseen dangers. Together, they achieved discoveries that would have been impossible on their own. From uncovering forgotten ruins entwined with magical flora to unraveling the complex relationship between history and magic, their teamwork unlocked layers of the world's secrets that deepened their collective understanding. Each new finding brought them closer as allies, their bonds strengthened by the realization that their individual strengths were amplified when united. What had begun as a partnership of necessity transformed into a fellowship of trust, shared purpose, and an unwavering commitment to uncovering the wonders of their ever-expanding world. As the campfire crackled softly against the backdrop of the island's tranquil shore, the group shared a quiet moment of reflection. The flames danced in the night, casting warm, flickering light on their faces as they contemplated the journey that had brought them together. Kale, his enthusiasm undiminished despite the challenges they had faced, broke the silence. His eyes sparkled with the thrill of discovery as he spoke, his voice carrying a mix of gratitude and awe. "I never anticipated that we'd form such a strong alliance," he began, gesturing to the companions seated around him. "Each of us brings something unique to the table, and together, we've uncovered wonders beyond imagination." His words resonated deeply with the others. Leora, her hands clasped around a steaming mug of herbal tea, nodded thoughtfully. "It's remarkable how fate brought us all here," she added, her voice gentle but firm. "I've learned so much from each of you, and I can feel the harmony in our group, like we were meant to work together." Adrian exchanged a glance with Serena, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his lips. "It's not just what we found," he said, leaning forward slightly. "It's the journey itself, the risks we've taken, the bonds we've built. That's what makes this adventure unforgettable." In the quiet that followed, the campfire's warmth seemed to echo the unspoken understanding between them. They were no longer just a group of travelers. They were a team bound by shared purpose and trust. Leora nodded, her gaze serene as she looked out toward the gently lapping waves. "The balance between our different strengths has allowed us to achieve what we could never have done alone," she said, her voice calm but filled with conviction. "Each of us has brought something vital to this journey: knowledge, intuition, courage, and together, we've created something far greater than the sum of its parts." She paused, letting the weight of her words settle. The flickering light of the campfire reflected in her eyes, mirroring the quiet wonder she felt for the serendipitous connections they had forged. "It's a reminder," she added softly, "of the power of collaboration and the magic that can be found in unexpected partnerships." Her words resonated deeply, drawing thoughtful nods from the group. Kale adjusted his glasses and smiled, his scholarly demeanor momentarily giving way to a rare moment of heartfelt appreciation. "Collaboration truly is its own kind of magic," he agreed. Adrian, ever practical yet introspective, leaned back against the log and let out a contented sigh. "It's funny," he said, "how different we all are, yet how seamlessly we've come together. It's almost as if this was meant to happen." Serena, seated beside him, placed a hand on his shoulder, her expression thoughtful. "Perhaps it was," she said softly. "The world has a way of bringing the right people together at the right time." In the quiet that followed, the unspoken bond among them seemed to strengthen, reaffirming their shared belief in the journey they had embarked upon and the paths yet to be explored. Adrian and Serena exchanged a glance, their hearts swelling with a mix of gratitude and anticipation. The bond they shared, forged through countless adventures, had grown stronger as they ventured further into the unknown. Their recent experiences had opened their eyes to the power of collaboration and the importance of surrounding themselves with those who brought different strengths and perspectives to the table. In each ally they had encountered, whether it was Kale's vast knowledge, Leora's deep connection to the natural world, or the wisdom they had gained from their own journeys, they had seen firsthand how a diverse array of talents could unlock new paths and possibilities. The realization that they were part of something much larger than just their own partnership filled them with a renewed sense of purpose and excitement. They now understood that the world was vast and full of people who could contribute to their quest for discovery, and each new connection could be a key to unlocking more profound truths about their world and themselves. They had once viewed the journey as a solitary pursuit, but their recent encounters had proven the power of collective effort. They were no longer just two adventurers sailing into the unknown. They were part of a greater network of individuals, each with their own unique knowledge and abilities, all intertwined in the shared pursuit of uncovering the world's mysteries. This understanding filled them with anticipation for the future, knowing that wherever their travels took them next, they would be met with new opportunities to learn, grow, and explore together. As they prepared to set out on their next adventure, the bonds they had formed with Kale and Leora filled Adrian and Serena with a sense of purpose and excitement. The deep trust and camaraderie they had cultivated with their new allies were a source of inspiration, reminding them of the strength that came from working together toward a shared goal. Their combined experiences had already led to groundbreaking discoveries, but beyond that, their partnership had shifted their perspective on the world. They had come to understand that each person they encountered, each new connection they made, played a vital role in the larger tapestry of existence. This awareness of how their paths intertwined with those of others filled them with a profound sense of responsibility and a desire to continue forging alliances that could help them navigate the complex, magical world they were uncovering. Their travels had taught them that discovery was not just about uncovering new places or ancient artifacts. It was about recognizing the threads that connected people, places, and knowledge in ways they had never fully understood before. The more they learned, the more they realized how intertwined the natural world, history, and magic were. The bonds they had formed with Kale and Leora were living proof of this interconnectedness, offering them not just new skills and insights, but a deeper understanding of the forces shaping their world. As they set sail once more, eager for the next chapter of their journey, they did so with the confidence that their alliance would continue to strengthen and that their exploration would lead them to ever greater discoveries, both within the world and within themselves. With Kale and Leora by their side, Adrian and Serena felt a surge of excitement as they looked ahead to the uncharted territories waiting for them. Their hearts were filled with a renewed sense of possibility, knowing that they were not embarking on this next leg of their journey alone. The dynamic synergy of their team, with each member contributing their unique strengths, made the unknown feel less daunting and more like an open invitation to explore. They could already sense that the journey ahead would bring challenges, but with their new allies, they felt confident in their ability to face whatever came their way. The promise of further adventures, of discovering hidden truths, unlocking powerful secrets, and uniting people across the lands, fueled their determination to continue moving forward. As the Elysium sailed toward new horizons, Adrian and Serena embraced the thrill of what lay ahead, knowing that their partnerships would provide them with the support and guidance they needed to navigate the complexities of the world. The lessons they had learned, the bonds they had forged, and the wisdom they had gained were all tools that would empower them on their journey. The world was vast, filled with mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and with their crew united by a shared purpose, they felt more capable than ever of tackling the unknown. With each new horizon, they knew they would grow not only as explorers but as individuals shaped by the people they encountered and the lessons they learned together. The chapter of unexpected alliances had proven to be a pivotal moment in their journey, transforming their quest into something far more profound than they had initially imagined. As they sailed toward the vast, uncharted waters ahead, Adrian, Serena, Kale, and Leora reflected on how their individual strengths had come together to create a bond stronger than any of them had anticipated. The diverse talents within their group, Kale's expertise in ancient knowledge, Leora's deep connection to nature, and Adrian and Serena's experience as seasoned explorers, had allowed them to uncover truths that had remained hidden for centuries. With every discovery they made, they grew more certain that their unity would guide them toward even greater wonders and help them face whatever challenges lay on the horizon. As the Elysium cut through the waves, the promise of new adventures loomed large, filled with the allure of deeper mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Their path, once solitary and uncertain, was now a shared journey, one that brought with it not only new opportunities for exploration but a deeper understanding of the world's interconnectedness. With each alliance forged, the team had expanded their horizons, both literally and metaphorically. Together, they were on the cusp of uncovering forgotten secrets, charting unknown territories, and revealing the intricate tapestry that wove their world together. The future, rich with possibilities, felt brimming with promise, and with the support of each other, they were ready to embrace whatever came next.